Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the second webinar in our Celebrating Success series. In case you missed the first episode, we're really excited to be bringing you this monthly series in which we'll be talking to industry experts and care homeowners who will be giving you real-world examples and very helpful tips on how to achieve success in a number of different areas. Throughout the series, we'll be covering a range of different topics from CQC regulations to interior design, customer service, and putting residents at the core of your business. You can catch up on the first episode on our Phone Care blog online. And if there's any topics you'd like us to cover later on in the series, then please do let us know. We'll be having a brief Q&A session today at the end of the webinar, so please do submit your questions throughout the presentations. And there's also two polls that we're running. If you head over to the right-hand panel, and please do submit your answers there as soon as possible as well. So today we're talking about marketing and recruitment, and we're hearing from two exceptional speakers who are specialists in these fields. As we look to a future of recovery within the care sector, the way you market your care business in order to attract prospective residents has never been more important. And alongside that, it's crucial to recruit quality staff that are going to put your residents and their care first. So on the subject of recruitment, we'll firstly be hearing from Scott Sherriden. And Scott is the founder and managing director of the Care Hub, which is a specialist outsourced recruitment provider and has worked in healthcare recruitment for over 10 years. Scott will be talking through how to hire and retain quality care workers, and he'll be helping you to cut down on your staff agency bill. Secondly, we'll be hearing from Adam James. Now, Adam founded Spring Up PR, which is a PR and marketing agency focusing specifically on the care sector. Adam has extensive experience in this area, having previously been an investigative journalist, and he's going to be sharing insights on how you can grow your care business through PR exposure and effective marketing strategies. So with that, I'll now hand over to Scott.
Thank you ever so much for the introduction, Ronald. Thanks for everybody at Phone Care for having me on the webinar today. And you're going to have a fantastic little bit of information sharing from Adam James. I would really advise you guys that listen to his section of this webinar to take note, and more importantly, I think Adam will encourage you, more importantly, to take action, as will I. I think some of the stuff we'll be sharing with you today is meant to help you guys not only understand what's going on in the market, but again, it's only any good to you guys if you actually do something with the sort of knowledge and tips that we'll share with you today. So without further ado, I think we've chatted at length with Phone Care about some of the problems that they see in the sector, and I am very privileged to be able to, probably a bit like Adam really, be able to share with you insights from across the UK, regionally, regardless of whether you're a small 30-bed care home or a large group, some of the challenges and issues that everybody's having right now in and around recruitment and retention. It's a big subject. You know, we normally do a webinar that lasts about an hour, and so what we want to focus on today is the attraction piece, and hopefully we'll get to do a second webinar, I think, with the guys at Phone Care in and around retention, because they're two very connected things but very important, can't be glossed over. So I'm going to focus today pretty much on attraction. We've run a poll quickly, so what we're asking people to do is to, you know, give us some insight. Are you using paid Indeed adverts? If so, are you happy with your results? And what is your current number one recruitment challenge right now? I'll be interested to see those and share those information at the back end of the webinar. But diving straight into the content, I think it's fair to say on the subject of recruitment, most residential care home providers struggle in two areas. Attracting candidates seems to be the norm because most providers only have Indeed as an outlet. Some will be recognizing that unsponsored adverts now are starting to dry up as Indeed push towards a pay-per-click model. You'll also see that some providers will be trying to battle their way through Facebook with mixed success when trying to attract applicants. This leaves a wealth of other sources, free job boards, as well as paid advertising. But really, there will be apps out there like Care Friends to recommend a friend as well. But the priority when people are looking for candidates, put them into a candidate funnel, I think the question comes down to quality over quantity. Indeed gets a lot of stick when it comes down to the quality of that. However, what I'm going to do is challenge your thinking today around whether you're attracting the right quality of candidates into your talent funnel, or whether or not you struggle with the recruitment process or having the time to contact all the people that have applied to your vacancy, and not just those that have, you know, got 6 or 8 years in experience in care, and therefore they're a soft target and easy to get in touch with. I am a big believer, and the way that we work at the Care Hub with our clients is that it's about contacting everybody that applies. It's not about the quality of the CV that determines the quality and caliber of a candidate. What you'll find is that when it comes down to finding a quality care worker, the things that we're really interested in are empathy, compassion, emotional stability, the things that make it, that are intrinsically human in our side of the fence, is that looking to find the right people with the right values that are going to represent your business. And it's changing the mindset of certain owners in the market that, you know, you should be interviewing me because I'm looking for someone for my role, and I want somebody that's got this, I want somebody to do that. Well, I've got news for you if you're on this webinar today, is that an applicant cares about themselves first and what they're looking for and what's important to them and their family and their personal circumstances before they're interested in you, your company, when you're established. So your priority when advertising a role and marketing your positions is to focus on why should someone work for you? What would be the value in working for you? What is your culture like? And I think if I paint a picture just for a second, when we got invited to do this webinar for Fern Care, we just, having never spoke or never worked together, we just mentioned a couple of things that we did in the market. And I happened to mention the fact that we just created a new pay-as-you-go service to support smaller providers. And I happened to mention that the client was Tillish Group. And John there had worked with us, had been one of our previous webinars. One of his challenges had been, you know, they're struggling to attract talent, couldn't find the right staff. One of the roles he'd had an agency nurse working with him for over 18 months through an agency, and through smart advertising, managing the campaign quickly and effectively and putting the adverts in the right place, we've eliminated basically an 18-month agency nurse contract in just 4 weeks, and it's cost around about £600 to do that. If you go out to an agency, they're looking to charge you 3, 6, 8, 10% of salary, so that could result in 3 or 4, 5k in fees. And there's really no need for guys to be paying that sort of money. It's just about, probably like Adam will be telling you, these aren't things that are beyond you. Whether you have the time or the resources to do them may be a separate matter, but there are ways to do it. You know, we don't have a magic candidate tree. We don't have a separate pool of nurses. We're not an agency that we can ship these people in. It's just about advertising and marketing. So the same things that Adam's going to be talking to you about and the rules that apply for attracting business are very much similar to what you would do for attracting candidates. You're trying to sell your business, your service. So when it comes down to using a product such as Indeed, there's a couple of quick things you need to be aware of straight out the blocks, and these are tips that you can utilize today when looking to optimize your position. Is the first 70 characters on any advert are what the reader will view. So if you're writing, you know, we were established in 1987, we have 20 beds, you know, and it's all about you in that first section, that is not appealing to a candidate. What you've got to be appealing to that first candidate is what makes it great. Do you have an exciting position? Is it a new opportunity? Is it something that's going to appeal to them and their values and what they're wanting to give back? Because there'll be people out in the market that want to get into care, but maybe fearful that they don't have the experience. And I would sort of want to remind people that everybody that currently works in care didn't work in care at some point. So somebody saw something in that individual that got them on this road to being a carer or working in the sector. And you shouldn't ignore that. So the best talent to come into care is yet to sort of experience or sort of find their way into the sector. On the subject of titles and headings, when it comes to that, don't be afraid. If you're just putting support worker or care worker, again, on Indeed in particular, you're looking at a pay-per-click notice. So for example, don't be afraid to put in female support worker nights. and put in your rate, because that are the things that people want to see. If you put in your advert support worker and that's it, then what you're going to find is that that particular individual, I could be looking at that advert, I get to the bottom of the advert, and then I find out that you're wanting females to work night shifts. And basically I've just spent 25, 35, 40, 50p of your click rate, just diminishing your advertising budget. The other thing that's really important about candidate application management is that when most people tell me they're struggling to attract candidates, I would say 90% of cases, it's nothing to do with having an applicant tracking system or a CRM. It's not often down to the quality and the quantity of applicants. It's down to having people that are managing the recruitment process that do not have recruitment skill sets, do not have the time, they do it in an ad hoc fashion. They might have an administrator or a deputy that may have been actually tasked with doing recruitment, and they'll do it in between jobs. And probably, like most people, the thought of bringing 50, 60 candidates in one go really doesn't thrill most people, to be honest. So what I would be saying to people is that if you're getting a steady stream of applicants, the first thing on your priority list every morning is candidates need to be contacted within at least, you must do it within the first 24 hours. If every 24 hours that passes, we estimate that you will lose between 35 and 50% of that attraction rate. We've seen cases where candidates have applied, people have left it to stack up for a week. They've come to Friday, they've got a big pile of candidates to wade through, they can't get hold of anybody, and the blame is on the candidates, is on there's nobody interested in it. And you hear these, what I would call common myths, which are things such as we don't have enough time to recruit, people are not interested in a career in care, we don't pay enough money, it's a bad reputation, and these are things that are simply not true. The key to your success in recruitment is speed of response and making sure you get out to people quickly and fastly. And the best thing you can do with that is it's probably going to take you 2 phone calls, possibly a text or a WhatsApp, and an email. Quality of speed of response, sort of tenacity to keep contact with candidates and not giving up, as well as sort of making sure you've got a quality response. Don't be doing it by email. You need to have dogged determination, picking up the phone. We're in the care sector, guys. You need to put a voice to your adverts. You need to put a voice to your company. You've got to be selling your adverts. Talk about what's important to them, why they're interested in a career in care, what is their personal circumstances like. These are the sort of things within a recruitment process that, if managed well, you will get the better results. I think the guys are going to be sharing with you one of the case studies as well that we've done for Standwalk, where this is a LD mental health service, 19 sites in the northwest Manchester area, and I think they'd typically been wasting 1,500 hours a month on agency, and that had just been accepted as the norm because they can't find anybody, they're not paying enough, and all these sort of good things. And just through streamlining the recruitment process, managing the advertising, reducing Indeed or optimizing Indeed to become a tool to be used effectively, we were able to wipe out over 1,300 hours out of the 1,600 hours of agency use in just 16 weeks. And that's not because we're still advertising in the same area, we're still in Salford and Manchester and sort of quietly competitive areas, and we're not the best payer in the market, but it's just about managing the recruitment process more effectively. How are we doing for time, guys? I'm just conscious we started a little bit late. I'm 12 minutes in, so...
Yeah, it's good for another 3 or 4 minutes.
Perfect. I don't want to jump into Adam's time or anything else I want to go through. It's just I'm trying to rattle through this and get through stuff for you guys so that you get some takeaways, but I don't want to be too shotgun so you don't get enough. So one of the other key things I'd like you to think about is that when it comes to recruitment, you're probably going to find that we've integrated our platform with the Care Friends app. I think Refer a Friend is a fantastic tool or an app to help organizations, but it won't be the panacea, because the simple fact is, if you've got a 30-bed care home and you've got 25, 30 staff, some of those will be your core staff that have been with you a long time. The reality is, if you went out and asked all 30 staff today, who do you know that could come and work for us, who would do a great job? I'm sure if you're a good employer and people feel confident to recommend you, that they will. The problem that you've got then is that, not sure about everybody else on the webinar, but at 48, well, nearly 48, I don't tend to make I don't make many new friends at this age. That was my university days. So kind of, if you ask me who could I recommend to you guys today who could help you, I'll surrender everybody up that I kind of know is of a given quality in my network. But next week, you can't ask me again. So it's a case of, that is a limited benefit. There are only sources to do it, and right now, you will see, I think for most people that would probably be answering Indeed, we've seen right across the UK, the last 2 weeks since the pubs, bars and restaurants have opened, the sunshine's been out, furlough's still on, Easter's been up there. It has probably been, the last week and a half has probably been the lowest application rates I have ever seen in the 4.5 years since we've been set up. That's what we've seen nationally. And that doesn't matter whether you're on Indeed, Facebook, Read, Monster, Total Jobs, CV Library, the lot. It shows you where the market's at. The thing that you've got with online advertising is that you are always at the mercy of who's looking that week. And therefore, you have to be out there to be seen, because if you don't invest in advertising and putting your name and your brand out there and getting your role out there, then people aren't going to come across you. But on the flip side, you don't really throw money away needlessly in the sort of peaks and troughs. Like summer naturally you can dial down a little bit. But really, the time I think for organisations to be looking at the recruitment advertising is now's the time to really I would say, be invested in trying to drive and trying to capture it, because especially in the home care market, it's taken a real battering. They've seen, due to some of the sort of death rates that have been reported, whether they're accurate or not, I think is up to contention. But the actual sort of occupancy levels have been seriously down, which has affected revenue and profits. We've even seen some of our clients got more staff. I've seen one particular client go from 22% operating profit to 7% in less than 6 weeks, due to a COVID breakout that ripped through the home. No referrals, no respite business. So it's not easy, guys. But the thing is, doing nothing is not an option. You might as well accept your fate. If you do nothing and choose to sort of just think we'll sit on our hands, then I think you'll struggle. You've got to be proactive, and you've got to be pushing out your vacancies. And like I said, there are other options in Indeed. I think the guys will be sharing. We've got an ebook that we can send with some tips. But I mean, what we'll do is I'll hand over to Adam and now, or back to Randall, and you guys can sort of pick up some information from myself. Hopefully you'll fill in the polls and we can go through that and maybe catch up at the end. Maybe you can share that with us. I can't see it at my end, but hopefully you guys have managed to fill out some of the details. But yeah, we'll get the ebook tips out. There's some really useful stuff in there. And if you do need, or you do get struggling with anything, you can always reach me at thecarehub.com. It's www.thecarehub.com. And my name's Scott Sherriden. I'm the MD. So sorry, that was a fast and furious sort of session. Al Adams will definitely be no doubt more polished than my presentation. He's got all the kit. He's a veteran speaker. So with my great pleasure, I'll hand back to you guys. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Scott. As you say, it's a huge topic, but today is, as you said right at the start, it's all about taking action. So it's great to get some very practical takeaways there for the viewers to immediately implement. And I think when we caught up for the first time last week, one of the things you mentioned to me was one of your key aims really is to remove or significantly reduce the need for using agencies for recruitment. It is about getting those quality care workers in that can be with you for the long term. And I know from speaking with a lot of care homes that is a very critical challenge at the moment. So thank you very much for that. And as you say, we may well have be able to do some further something further next month or in the coming months to do with the retainment as well, which is another key topic and a huge topic as well. So thanks very much for that. We will be circulating the ebook as well after the event. And now we will hand over to Adam on the world of PR and marketing. Over to you, Adam.
Randall, thank you. Scott, first thing, I think that's the first time I've been called a veteran at anything. So how should I feel about that?
Well, take it as a compliment, mate. Take it as a compliment.
No, I do. Of course I do. Well, normally with these webinars or presentations, I just, like everyone, I just hop straight on and don't think about what I'm wearing, what my hair looks like. But today, white background, blue shirt, First time I thought about the contrast from backdrop to my shirt colour. There you go. Enough about my shirt colour branding. So thank you very much for having me on. Now, I do think I'm gonna be able to share. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's good. So if I go around to the first slide here, thank you. So I'm Adam from Spring Up PR. In a nutshell, we help care and nursing home operators get guaranteed more leads and inquiries to fill beds faster by proven PR and marketing methods. And today, I am going to talk to you about the only way to get guaranteed more leads from prospective families for care and nursing homes within 6 hours. I said 12, but if you know what you're doing and you get the hang of it, you can do this in 6 hours. Now, some of you listening maybe know what I'm referring to, some may not, but let me tell you what that system is. I'll just be clear before I go on. In terms of what PR and marketing means for care and nursing home operators, there are a whole number of ways in order to help promote your homes to get more inquiries, particularly if you're after self-funding families. Local authority inquiries and self-funding families often come through, as you know, of course, through different mechanisms. But very, very generally, if you are looking to promote your home to get more inquiries, to amplify the word of mouth reputation, which is usually key to drive inquiries, then there are a whole number of different ways to do that. However, today, I am purely and 100% only focusing on Facebook ads. And I'm going to give you real life examples of how Facebook ads work and are working for care operators. Now, I know the words here might be a little bit small, but hopefully you can see them. Facebook ads are different to other PR marketing channels, mainly because with Facebook ads, you are trying, how they can work is you are trying to reach people, prospective family members within the catchment areas of your homes who have, note the word psychology, who are thinking about the possibility of the fact that their elderly relative or mum or dad or auntie and aunt may need care in the future. Let's remember, if someone wants a care home or respite, they may have already decided and made that inquiry, if not to your home, to another home. Facebook ads can work in that they are reaching out to care to families who are thinking about the possibility of care. And what you can do to use Facebook ads is to get leads. See there, leads. These are people raising their hands and going, I'm interested in your care home. I might give you my name, my email address and phone number. If you can send me something that would help me in my journey to thinking about a care home or care. These Facebook leads are different from inquiries. Let me repeat that. The inquiry is what we all love, isn't it? I mean, it's great when someone phones or emails a home and go, yeah, I'm really interested in your home. My mum or dad needs a home. Can we organise a look around? That's the dream inquiry. You're going to convert that one. It's a high interest in your home. That's the best inquiry you can get. Leads are different. Leads have to work, get a system in place. A lead where someone's going, you know what, I'm interested in the possibility, I'm thinking about it, and you're going to get their name, email, and phone. You have to work. You have to have a system in place to contact that lead that comes via Facebook ads. You have to contact them by phone, by email. You have to follow up. You have to keep them on e-shots. You have to warm them up. If you're using Facebook, you can get leads from family members that I promise you probably none of your competitor homes will be doing, but they require work. They are not the dream inquiry. I'll come on to that a little bit more. Happy to answer questions. Real life examples. So I'm going to give you 2 real life examples of Facebook ads. Here's one. Now I know the words are small, but I want to convey key elements about Facebook ads. So let's think what's happening here. This Facebook ad is going out to your catchment area. With Facebook ads, you can target by age, by sex, sometimes by socioeconomic interests. So you can target groups, specific groups. Key thing about Facebook ads, make it, this is Facebook, this is Facebook, this is Facebook. You want to be a person talking to a person. So anything looks like an ad, smells like an ad, comes across as an ad, will be treated as an ad. And we don't like ads. We don't like ads on Facebook. If we're scrolling through our timeline, the last thing we want to see is an evident ad. So you can see here, now this is a real life example of a respite Facebook ad. Why respite? Well, if you get more respite, often, not always, I'm putting this out to you care operators listening, if you get a respite, there's a high chance you will convert that resident to a full-time resident later down the line, whether that be 2 months or even 2 years. So therefore, the numbers state, if you get more respite, there's a high chance you're going to be getting more residents. So, in a nutshell, look at this ad here. Look at this ad. What do you notice? You notice a smartphone photo. That's the activities coordinator. You can't read the words here, they're a little bit too small, but they are basically saying, hi, I'm Joe, I'm activities coordinator at so-and-so home. I guess, perhaps you're struggling to look after your mum and dad. So you're speaking to that person who's seeing this Facebook ad. You're trying to get into the psychology of an individual family member who's thinking about the possibility of care for their loved one. That's what you're doing here. The words have to be personal. It's a personal person talking to a person. If you could, I know this video or slides will be sent to you, so you'll be able to see the words in this ad. But down at the bottom of the ad, underneath a picture of that Joe, she's activities coordinator, there's a learn more. Now, it happens that this care home was offering 3 weeks for the price of 2. I mean, you can do it how you like during this era of COVID. And the person would click that button to learn more. They just want to learn more. Fine. Then they will give you their name, email address, and phone number for you to contact them. That's when the work comes in. You have to follow up and contact them. Second example. This is starting to use video. And it's slightly different. You can't see the words here. But what this actual ad is doing is offering people a guide on 10 questions you have to ask a care home before just making a decision. So again, you're getting into the psychology of an individual. They're thinking about a care home. They don't really know. But you're going to give them a free guide on 10 questions you must ask a care home that you never thought of asking. Imagine me seeing this ad. I'm thinking I may need a care home for my loved one. Thank you. You're going to help me. I'll get that guide. Now, again, this particular Facebook ad has incorporated a video. Notice here that it's bright pink, it's got captions, it's got a video. Again, this video is from the activities coordinator. Very, very personal. You're also increasing awareness and trust. Most importantly, trust right now in April 2021. Trust. You're building trust about video. That's a real bonus right here, right now. So it's doubling up as a Facebook ad and awareness by building trust. And expertise. By using the video, you're positioning your home, your staff as experts. And this is going out to thousands, tens of thousands of people because it's a Facebook ad, you're paying for it. So here we go, results. How does all this work out? These are real life results happening right here, right now. Top one, results after 3 months. This was both respite care because they wanted more rest. They're interested in promoting their respite because they want more respites, because that will help them get more residents. And this is over the course of 3 months. 46 leads from families, people providing their name, phone, and email. That's a cost per lead of £27.63. Total spend 1,270. Now, this is a key number here. This home followed up. They followed up these leads that were coming in. 37% of those 46 definitely confirm they're interested in care provision or a care home. So you are targeting the right people. Look at that number, I repeat, 37%. Definitely confirmed interest in care provision or a care home. So my question is to you, do you want to get those numbers? Well, if you do, Facebook ads can help you. Second, see the second example here, results after 1 month. This was for an ad for early onset dementia. This home particularly had a speciality in early onset. And they had, in fact, it was a text-based ad, and they got a guide on, it was a case study on an individual and how the home helped this particular individual during his period of early onset. 56 leads from families. That's name, phone, and email. Cost per lead £2.50. I mean, that was blown off the charts. We'd never had anything like that before. Total spend 140. So that's 56 leads within a month. Now, remember, these leads require work. They do require work. So you need to have a system in place to be regularly following up with them. It's really very, very important. But those are the numbers. So, I hope that was, let me just go back here. If there's anything else I wanted to add, I think that with these ads, you can do, it's important to test video versus photos. And the key thing when you're doing Facebook ads, the Facebook ads dashboard can be a little bit complicated, but you can do it. You really, really can do it. Is to make sure that you don't use sales or marketing or advertising speak. You are very, very personal. It's person speaking to person. You're always offering something of value. People give their name, email address, and phone to get something that you offer that will help them in their decision-making process, that will help them in their lives, that will help you become the expert in social care. That's what you need to be thinking about. And you can test different words. If you're using Facebook ads, different words, different videos, you can find that cost per lead can change dramatically according to your words that you use and your photos. For example, if you do a photo of that one I showed you, a person, a manager, that may work much better than having a photo of the home. Test it, not always, but that's usually what you will find. So Facebook ads, right here, right now, this is they are a way to get leads, but they do require work. As I said, they are different from an inquiry, and it's capturing that family member when they are at a certain period of their looking for care or a care home journey. Occasionally, because of your ads, you will get people going, oh yeah, I'm interested right here, right now, and you might get a Facebook Facebook message come through to you, but generally that's the approach and philosophy you need to be taking with Facebook ads. So that's just Facebook ads. Before I go, if you would like a free video on the 7 vital and proven PR marketing things you must be doing in order to help get more inquiries and to fill your beds faster, please, please, please do it right now. Just text yes to either that mobile number or that email address. Just do it now, and I'll send you a copy of that video, which I think you'll will give you immense value. And also, I'm absolutely happy to talk about Facebook ads or any PR and marketing methods and what works better than others. Please, you've got my details there if ever you would like to do that. But please, if you would like that video, just text yes to that mobile number or email address now. Thank you very much, Randall.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Adam. And likewise with recruitment, it's another massive topic, marketing for care homes, and probably particularly after the last 12 or 13 months that the care homes have been through. So it's a huge topic. Like we say about anything that looks or smells like an ad is ultimately waste. It's about being personal and adding value, which is critical. So one thing you did mention there, Adam, if it's okay to go straight into a question about the importance of following up the leads. It's one thing to generate them, but then to follow them up. Did you have any particular comments on the best way of going about that?
Yeah, phone, email, e-shots. So every home should, my recommendation should be having an e-shot anyway, and that is to both. That's not that you can include your family members of your present residents, but if you want more inquiries, you have to be. It's above and beyond your present families, because they will always give you referrals. So it is literally, I mean, those leads I just mentioned there, they can go into an e-shot, and on that e-shot is your all your VIPs, influencers, stakeholders within your area. So that's your local authority people, that's your GPs, you'll probably be referring to, that's your district nurses, that's your MPs, that's your councillors, that's your lawyers, that's your key influencers in the area that you want to make sure they're hearing about you as a great provider of care. So e-shots, number one, emails and phone. And that's how you do it. Now, I say to care providers when we're talking about this, yeah, you have to get in the weeds. Yeah, you have to get dirty with these kind of leads. I'll give you an example. It didn't come from Facebook ads, but a client, a home that I was speaking to, an inquiry came in from Cyprus. I think it was about a year and a half ago. The home kept in contact with that individual who's age 92 through a whole year and a half. He never visited the home. However, the home kept in contact with them every so often, proactively. Hi, bringing up, how are you getting on? A year and a half later, that person became a resident at the home without even visiting.
Incredible. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. It's a good answer. Thanks for that, Adam. Scott, we never actually touched on the poll results earlier. So did you just want to run through the results from that and what insights you take from it?
Yeah, thanks for that. I think what's really interesting, I've run. So the question you asked is, I'll focus on doing it a little bit reverse order. What is your number one recruitment challenge right now? We've asked that in every webinar we've done, and what I find interesting with this particular webinar is that it's never scored. We sort of 63% of the poll have said that they can't seem to attract enough quality applicants, and ironically, it seems to be, or the sort of trend is that it's never dipped below 61% of the vote, and has topped at 79% of the vote. So there's definitely a correlation between what people perceive to be the challenges of recruiting quality people into that talent pipeline. Whereas when you look at things like agency use, didn't get a vote, don't have enough time, didn't get a vote, retention got 13%. Interesting if we've got something else, which I think would be an interesting one to explore with anybody who's willing to share that with me. I'm curious to know what that is. But I think for those that may be sort of saying can't seem to attract enough quality candidates, it'd be always interesting to have a conversation with those types of people to find out whether or not, is it volume, or is it the fact that the people you're managing to have a conversation with and someone to really get into interview and actually physically see are not to the standards that you'd expect or like, because they can often be two slightly different challenges. I think when it comes down to the other question of am I using Indeed, paid adverts, I'm interested. It's interesting that 50% of people said no, they don't use Indeed. So it's a 50-50 split there. And it's 25% of people then said, of that is a split again. Yes, I am happy with the results. And the other half said, no, I'm not. So what's interesting is that you tend to find there's a couple of camps here. You might find there are. I spoke to an agency. I spoke to a provider only yesterday. They're spending £1,000 a month on Indeed, and they're expecting to hire 2 to 4 people per month. Now, for £1,000, to put that into perspective, one of our dom care clients, for example, which is a lot more volume, we reduced their Indeed spend from £900 to £160, I think, a month. We reinvested some of that money in other advertising, such as the paid job boards that we're able to access to that can be quite expensive for providers. So we managed to sort of pretty much reduce their Indeed spend by 70%, and by redeploying some of that investment back in other sources, we've actually doubled the amount of traffic for pretty much half the cost. So the key is that obviously most people are fishing in the same pond for applicants. It's Indeed or kind of nothing, and therefore it can either be who's got the deepest pockets when it comes to pay-per-click rates, or who's got the more firepower and speed of response to get to the better quality applicants first. And more importantly, get them in for an interview like tomorrow, not next week or the week after, and then giving them a response the week after that. As I've said, quality is king, but obviously speed of response is important. Adam's just made the same point, is that, you have to get your hands dirty. You can't just expect. I think there are, in my opinion, a humble opinion that is, there are too many providers out there that think, people should be grateful that I can offer them a job. I would flip it the other way around. It's when we're asking people to do a job at, at the rates that we can afford to pay people. A lot of people would love to pay more. We should be privileged and honoured that people will take a job, doing a job that's so difficult, stressful, emotionally draining in certain circumstances, depending on what type of service you're doing. At that sort of rate, we should be honoured that people will represent our companies and look after other people's loved ones, not their own loved ones, for that sort of, hourly rate. It's a ridiculously tough job. So you have to make it candidate sensitive. You've got your candidate focused. And if you think the common theme between what I'm talking about and what Adam's talking about, it can't be like an advert. It's got to be about the individual. What am I interested in? It's a relationship. At the end of the day, if you distill down what the care sector is, it's people looking after people. It's the most humanized sort of role there is. You can't have a more person-centric position. You can have all the bring binders and CQC and checklists you wish, but who runs those checklists? Who delivers the care? It's people. So it's all about managing and attracting the right person for the role. So everything you need to do needs to be, in my opinion, is candidate centric. The roles and responsibilities are what they are, but what are you going to do to sort of encourage those people to stay in your business, be part of it, and show it as a career in care, not just a job or a stopover? But the results are, if anything, the same. I've done this webinar for the NCA with Nadra Hamid and Una Smythe, the new CEO of Skills for Care. We did a similar vote, got, I think it was 69%, so they can't seem to attract enough applicants. We've done it for the care show. We've done it our own clients, and it's always the same result. No matter what the client base, whether it's domiciliary home care, LD, mental health, children's service, it's pretty much that split. So it shows you that the themes are very common. But I think probably like Adam's message is, these things can be fixed. It's not all doom and gloom. You can flip these things on its head. It's just probably, from a recruitment perspective, there's 3 things. You need a strategy, but there are 3 things that come together: people, process, and technology, all needed to be knitted together in a cohesive way to deliver an outcome. And it's just about getting that together. And it's not beyond anybody's reach. But like Adam's saying, if you guys are struggling, you're welcome to get in touch. There's some stuff we can share with you for tips. And again, if those don't work, you can always ask for advice, or by all means book a call with myself and have a chat, and I'll be happy to help.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Scott. Very interesting. And yeah, I'm sure it's something we probably could talk about all day almost, both recruitment and marketing. But yeah, like I said, we will certainly be circulating information from both of you to everyone that's viewing the webinar, including your contact details, and all the viewers, I'm sure, are very welcome to get in touch with yourselves. So that does bring it to a close. Thank you everyone for watching the webinar today. Trust you found it both interesting and useful. Thank you also to Scott and to Adam for your time. Like I say, we'll be circulating some information along with a recording of this webinar following the event. And we look forward to seeing you again at our next webinar next month. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers. Bye. Thank you.